most companies can't even buy all their search traffic, for instance, right? There's so much search volume, they can't even realize a small percentage of it because they don't convert well enough. Their budgets aren't big enough. So I have a saying that your conversion rate is strangling your advertising spend. Because if you're only converting, say, 2.4%, let's say, and you can only spend 200 a day, there may be 1,000 a day in traffic, of search traffic that would have purchased if you were just squeezing more out of it and getting a better return on ad spend. So a lot of companies, they're in that position, which is an interesting, phenomenon, because Google still, is still killing it, revenue wise and profit wise, but there's so much upside yet to realize with advertising on Google.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally with you on that, and with you on the, the CRO thing is, your budget is so small because you're not getting enough out of the budget you're spending. If you actually improved your CRO, not only could you increase your budget, but you can probably increase your bids, and then you can get more traffic. So there's lots of different ways to open up those opportunities.
Well, it's tricky, because if you increase the bids, you'll get less clicks for the money. So the first step is to just increase the conversion rate, and then realize all the daily budget that's out there without even raising the bids.
Sure.
And then once you fulfill that, then you can start creeping up the bids. But it becomes tricky, because if you go up too high, it just cancels out the conversion increase, and you won't get the return on ad spend. So it's still tricky. It's all paid search is the trickiest form of advertising, in my opinion. And it's still an enigma. It's still a something that has to be mastered, through various, trial and error.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like you said, trial and error, that's what conversion rate optimization is all about. It's, it's the same in startups, is right. You got to try stuff, see what improves, iterate, or see what you can improve, and then iterate, and then optimize from there. And then, like you said earlier, never stop doing that.
And who doesn't do enough CRO are SaaS tools. The actual tools that facilitate CRO don't do CRO. The tools that, do things for websites, and these companies that do so well because they have, so many subscribers on their tool, they're not go on their site, and they might have a little, drift widget, or they might have something, but they don't have enough pop-ups. They don't have enough retargeting ads. They don't have enough, tools on the site to facilitate, lead capture. And so it's funny that, which is why I decided to go into the tool space myself, because I saw a lot of companies just killing it with tools, building tools and I just knew that was a great place to be, where the money's at, so to speak. So, but I'm sort of on a crusade to, bring it to B2B as well, bring CRO to B2B. In SaaS, there's a huge lack of CRO emphasis in the B2B world, in my opinion. And it's just a lack of people, experts, a lack of people in the company that really know how to accomplish this. So that's part of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly, the B2B world can be, can use some of this knowledge and really scale, and probably see some of the biggest benefits. Even though it may be smaller volume, because we're not dealing with, this D2C play where there's so many different people looking for a product, and there's so many more data points. But the impact on the B2B side can be massive as well. It's absolutely massive. So,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of upside on all sides, D2C, B2B. I mean, D2C all of a sudden just got, hot last year because of the pandemic or whatever, and before that, B2B was on fire for quite a few years. B2C, quote unquote, has always been hot, right? It just got real hot last year because all the, what happened with the with everything that went on. B2B is still booming, but it's a weird space, because it's you got the SaaS things, and you got big companies selling business to business, so it's a disjointed kind of thing, B2B. It's like a amoeba type thing, like a blob. It's hard to define, there's not a lot of organization around it.
Sure.
When you look at B2C or D2C in that industry, in e-commerce, it's a way more well-defined thing than
Yeah.
what's going on over there. So I don't know if that's worth anything, but like in the affiliate and B2B affiliate space, there's very little going on with B2B in the affiliate space. There's a ton going on in direct to consumer, right? So there's a lot of upside there to cultivating affiliate programs and networks that have that type of traffic. So that's just one example of where it never sort of caught up.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the B2B world, there's a lot of shaping traffic to be the right traffic so that we've got the right users and right people coming through. And I think there's a lot more strategy involved when you're working with a B2B. It's not as easy as okay, well, these guys are doing that in the sock space, we're going to do that in the shoe space, right? It's this is very specific to we provide this, specific product or solution to, very specific industry and challenge. So it's kind of unique, which I think makes it fun and interesting.